Caring for children and aging parents at the same time is extremely tough, but nearly half of adults in their 40s and 50s are caring for a parent who is older than 65, while at the same time raising a child or helping support a young adult. It's called the sandwich generation. Caring for both parents and children at the same time can create additional emotional and financial stress. But the good news is I have a few tips to help you balance all the responsibilities and hopefully make your life easier and less stressful. I'm Colin Exelby. I'm a certified financial planner professional, and I provide financial planning for business owners and their families that just makes sense. I own the virtual financial advisory practice, Celestial Wealth Management, and have been providing advice all over this country for over 20 years. All right, tip number one, get organized. If you haven't already, creating a net worth statement of all your assets and debts is a great first step. This helps you get a handle on where you currently stand financially. What have you accumulated to this point? Seeing it visually makes a lot of sense. I currently use a system called Asset Map to help clients get clear on their current net worth. The software can create a one-page virtual map of your net worth in an elegant, easy-to-read report. But you can also use free software like Personal Capital or even Microsoft Excel. Next is to begin to track your income and expenses, if you're not already doing so. And I don't mean budgeting down to the last dollar. I hate budgeting, you know that. But I do mean knowing how much you have coming in and how much is going out and the major categories you're spending money in. It's important to understand how much you're spending, how much you are saving, and how much you may need. If you haven't done this yet, it's time. Now, before we dive deeper, this is a good spot to point out important disclosures. The information in this video, it's for educational purposes. This is not specific financial planning or investment advice. It's important that you consult with your tax advisor before implementing any investment or financial planning process. All right, there are a number of tools out there that can make expense tracking much easier. If you want some recommendations, just check out a few of them down in the description. One of my favorites is Rocket Money. Rocket Money, which was originally called Truebill, is a free app. It's extremely intuitive compared to other pieces of software that I've tried. I use it for my own family's finances, and I find it easy to track and analyze how much money we are bringing in, how much we are spending, and how much we are saving. The great news is it helps me see these things at a big picture level, and that's what I care about. I would specifically create separate spending categories devoted to children and one for parents. If you are covering any expenses for your parents or your adult children, I would separate those out so you can see and plan for those expenses. It's great so that you can see the amount of support that you're currently providing versus your own needs and compare it year by year. Because guess what the average costs are? According to a new 2022 update from the Brookings Institution, the cost of raising a child from birth to age 17 will cost about $310,000. That is a lot of money. That's about $18,000 per year per child, and that number doesn't include college or any postgraduate financial support. And according to AARP, more than 78% of family caregivers pay some form of out-of-pocket expense when caring for their parents. On average, family caregivers spend roughly $7,000 annually. So now you understand why you need to keep track of this stuff. Once you have a clear picture of where you currently stand, my next tip is to improve your emergency fund. More people to take care of means more chances for emergencies. Having an emergency fund built up can help relieve stress in your life because emergencies do happen. Unexpected medical expenses or last-minute travel to help a parent or a child in another state can really throw a wrench in your finances. An elderly parent may need unexpected financial assistance, or your child may lose a job that was helping to pay for college. You'd never know what could happen. So if ever there is a time in your life you need a little buffer, this is it. How much do you need? well, check out my video on whether you really need an emergency fund to find out the best ways to create one for yourself and how much to fund it with. Now, when caring for aging parents, unfortunately, unexpected events do happen. It may make sense to adjust your family vacations for the time being. Oh God, we don't have a family vacation? Well, you may want to change things during this period of time. Rather than traveling long distances for long trips that could be disrupted or canceled, it may make sense to plan more casual travel closer to home for shorter time periods. In addition to being less costly, it's much easier to plan around and reschedule if needed. All right, my next tip is to be sure to understand the long-term impact to your finances. Now, women are more likely than men to spend years out of the workforce raising children or caring for an older relative or friend. I know, this day and age, men could be doing it as well, but according to the statistics, women are more likely, and they're probably better at it, to be quite honest. We forget things, we're not very good with our emotions. Women tend to be kind of better at that thing. So I think that's probably going to continue, but we'll see. This could mean, however, if that is happening, that women are receiving lower wages, lost income, and missing out on potential promotions, which can all add up. So maybe men, we should probably do some of this stuff. Well, let's consider an example of how this can affect long-term finances, because sometimes we don't think about this stuff. Christy is in her mid-50s. She has a $100,000 a year job, a pretty nice one. She decides she's going to quit her job because her mother needed significant care. She decided to leave the job to care for her mom for 3 years. All right? Well, she understood she was going to be losing her job and her salary. But not only is she not receiving $300,000 in lost salary, but she also is no longer contributing to that 401k. So all those contributions and all the growth from those contributions are now gone. The matching that she was receiving from her employer, well, of course, she's not there, so that never occurred. The extra $6,500 contribution that she was making because she was over the age of 50, well, she's not making that now either, so she's missing that as well as the growth for it. Her Social Security benefits were permanently reduced because these are some of her highest earning years that she sacrificed to take care of her mom. Additionally, there's potential for a pension reduction because her length of service is reduced. These are a lot of other financial impacts that a lot of people don't consider when thinking about leaving the workforce. Now, to lessen the impact, if you are considering leaving the workforce, maybe talk to your employer about reducing hours while still maintaining enough to get benefits like the retirement plan, the pension, or healthcare. Also, some larger employers may offer services to employees who are also caregivers, so make sure you look into that. And if you do have to leave, to stay on track for your own retirement, consider making a spousal IRA contribution. Now, IRA contribution limits are not nearly as high as 401k limits, but every little bit helps, and you really don't want to miss out on the tax advantages. All right, my next tip, make sure you beware of the closest daughter syndrome. At least that's what I like to call it. It's well known that the child that is closest logistically to the aging parents is often the one with more physical caregiving responsibilities. The one who is present more often may notice things in the home that need to be restocked, or that your mother may be in need of a cane or a walker to help them get around. If you are the one providing more hands-on assistance, it's really tempting to grab your purse and just pay for it because it's easier. But these expenses can add up to thousands of dollars a year and can significantly eat into your budget. Ask for financial help, either from your parent, who you're caring for, or from brothers and sisters. Don't do it alone. And if you are the sibling providing more hands-on caregiving, it's important you find time for yourself. According to the National Alliance for Caregiving, on average, adult caregivers spend roughly 3 hours a day in their role helping aging parents. That's taking away from their own self-care as well as that of their own children and their spouse. It's important to protect your own health, your physical and your mental. If you don't maintain your health and your sanity, you aren't any good to your family. All right, my next tip, make sure you are having proactive discussions with your aging parents and your siblings. Parents often don't want to burden their children with their financial and medical challenges until there isn't another choice. It's important to respect their privacy and their independence, but the sooner you have an idea of their income, expenses, assets, and liabilities, the better. Get introduced to their accountant and financial planner if you haven't already. There's no need to know all the details, but if your parent has an accident, suffers memory loss, or has an illness, and they can't handle day-to-day living as well, they may not remember where important information or financial documents are. Know who the power of attorney is. Make sure everyone is on the same page and legal documents are in place to coordinate with siblings and other family members, especially if they live out of state. Having discussions with an independent estate planning attorney before something serious happens can make life much easier if and when something does happen. Now, on average, when do people have these discussions with their parents? Well, children typically step in to help aging parents in their late 70s. Often after a loved one has either made a direct financial request for assistance or when health becomes a significant factor, like when you notice a change to their ability to handle daily living tasks. Lastly, have an honest discussion with your spouse or significant other about what is happening and your level of involvement. I can't stress this enough. You really must be on the same page. I'm serious. You want to talk about what is happening and be open about what you're feeling. Hard choices are the hallmark of the sandwich generation. Kids have plenty of school functions, musical performances, award ceremonies, sporting events, and parent-teacher conferences. I know because I'm going to all of them. Aging parents need care at different times, and accidents or disease to them can mean you have to make choices. Who gets your time? Too many couples don't take the time to talk through what is happening, and both their finances and their relationship can suffer. So do your best to take time to discuss what is happening. It might even make sense to schedule time each week when you can talk and be uninterrupted. That way you stay on the same page. And what if you're dealing with this all on your own? Having a friend to talk to can be really helpful. You don't want to keep everything you're feeling bottled up. Now, I hope these tips help you support your family without getting squeezed. And if you're looking for more tips to manage your finances, check out these videos next.